Good morning. Today I'll be taking up the next chapter, Ranga's Marriage by Masti Venkatesh Iyengar. Masti Venkatesh Iyengar was a renowned Kannada writer who had won the Gyanpith Award, right, the highest literary award that is conferred in India. He is popularly known or referred as Masti Kannada Asti, which means Masti is Kannada's treasure. Okay, he postgraduated in English literature in 1914, right, and later competed at Indian Civil Services and was served in the Mysore with the Maharaja of Mysore. He was raised to the level of district commissioner, and after serving as district commissioner for 26 years, he resigned because someone else, his junior, was promoted, and he was not given the rank equivalent to a minister, which he thought that he deserved. And he has a lot of contribution in Kannada literature. He has written many stories, short stories. This story, Ranga's Marriage, is as if he's talking to his readers, right? Style of narrative writing, as if he is in a conversation with the reader. In the first part, he talks why he had given the name of the lesson as Ranga's Marriage, why he had not given the name like Ranganathan Vivah or Ranganath Vijaya, right, or Jagannath Vijaya or Girija Kalyan. He says the story is not about Jagannath or Girija. This is about Ranga, our own Ranga, and as it is about his marriage, the name of the story is Ranga's Marriage, right? And then he tells about his village. Have you heard about our village, which is Hoshahalli? He says you must not have heard it, and plainly this is not your fault, because the British people did not know about Hoshahalli. The cartographers did not mention Hoshahalli anywhere in the map, and if it is not in the map, how would you know it? So it is the problem of the British people and the cartographers, right? Then he talks about his village, which he proudly says is very famous. Why is it famous? He says it is as famous as Mysore is to Bharatvarsh. Mysore is very important to Bharatvarsh, and a sweet called Kadiga Dabbu. It is very similar to the gujia that we prepare, right? Kadiga Dabbu is very important sweet in each of the festivals. So he says the festival is incomplete without the Kadiga Dabbu, and Bharatvarsh is incomplete without Mysore, and Mysore is incomplete without the village Hoshahalli, right? He says he is not the only one who says so well of his village. There is a doctor called Gunda Bhatt. He says he has been to many places. He also admires the village, and he has been to many places but not England, right? And whenever someone asks him, have you been to England? He said, no, I have not been to England. I have left that for you. You go to England. I don't move like a flea-pestered dog. Flea-pestered dog means a dog who is infested with the fleas, right? And he keeps on circling to bite his body, because that fleas bite his body. Okay, to scratch himself, he goes on moving round and round. So he says, I am not like a flea-pestered dog. I have been to many places, but surely not to England. He keeps on going to tell about the things that are famous in his village, right? He says there are mango trees in our village, and if you get a mango, don't eat it. The raw mango should not be eaten. They are very sour. He says that once he brought a mango and his wife prepared chutney out of it, and the whole family had, right? A big family had the chutney from one raw mango, and they all had cough. And when the doctor came, the doctor told about the quality of that raw mango. It should not be eaten in that much quantity. You can imagine, only one mango for the whole family, that also caused so much of cough. That means the mangoes are very sour. Then it tells about the leaves that grow in the pond. There's a creeper. The flowers are very beautiful to behold. So when you go for a bath in the pond, get hold of 2 leaves of that creeper, and you won't need banana leaves to eat. That means they are so big, right? So he has all the praise of his village. Now he says that the things that I have told you, you may suspect me, right? You won't believe me, but the best way to know the truth is to visit that place. So if you have a plan to come to Hoshahalli, do drop a letter and I will pick you from the railway station, right? Now he says that this is one part that he describes as if he is conversing with the readers. He says, what I am going to tell you, it all happened 10 years ago. At that time, people did not know English. Okay, they only spoke in Kannada, and there was no one who had gone out of the village. Only one person, the accountant's son, he was sent to Bangalore for higher studies. So this became a news 10 years ago. So he was the first boy to go out of the house, out of the village, to study. Now he says that before this incident happened, at present time, before that the people did not know English. They did not include English in their native language. They used to speak in Kannada. But one day he was sitting at the Ramarao's house. Ramarao is his friend. So he was sitting at Ramarao's house, and the lady had come with the firewood, and Ramarao's son asked him how much money it was, right? She said 4 paise. 4 paise, that means 4 paise. But Ramarao's son said that he did not have the change. Now we all know what change means, but at that time people did not know what change meant. So that lady who had come to deliver the firewood was so annoyed that she thought that she has been abused. She went from there muttering. Even the author did not know what change meant. So he asked Ramarao's son, what is the meaning of change? So Ramarao's son told him that change meant the change money. But this story is 10 years prior to this event, what he is going to discuss now. Now he discusses that there was an accountant's son who had gone out to study in Bangalore. He was in Bangalore. He returned after some time, and there was an announcement by the people that the accountant's son has come back, right? He has come, and let us go and have a look at the accountant's son. Now the author, he was also attracted by the crowd, and he went there and stood there. He did not know why they had assembled there. So he asked, is there any performance of the monkey? But I can't see any monkey. Now there was a mischievous boy among the crowd. He said, so why are you here? Right? What are you doing here then? So he teased the author. So author here says that the children do not have the mature behavior. They are so immature and without manners. But he did not speak back. Okay, so he did not reply. He just kept quiet. Now, seeing so many people, Ranga is the accountant's son. The accountant's son, Ranga, comes out of the house with a smile on his face, and he greeted everyone. Okay. Now, all those people who had come there, if they would have entered the house of the accountant, that is Ranga's house, this place would have become like black hole in Calcutta. Okay, black hole is the place where there are so many people. It is so congested area in Calcutta that it is called a black hole. So Ranga came out and he wished everyone, and everyone started leaving. There was an old lady. She just rubbed her hand over the chest of Ranga. Right? When she rubbed the chest, she was satisfied. She says the Janevara is still there. Janevara is the Janev. Okay, the Janev is still there. He hasn't lost his caste. That means the boy who had gone out of the village, if he lived in Bangalore, he must be spoilt. Right? He must have lost his caste. But the old woman who saw, who felt the Janev on his chest, she was satisfied, and then she went away from there. Ranga started laughing. Now everyone who had seen Ranga, he had the same hands, same eyes, same nose, everything. Nothing had changed by going out of the village. Now everyone was satisfied and they moved out of the house. The author stayed back, and then he called him, "How are you, Rangappa? Everything well?" So Ranga recognized him and he greeted him, right? He did a namaskar respectfully. Now the author here mentions, he says, I must mention you what kind of namaskar was it. He says the children of today do not know how to do the namaskar, right? They stand straight, right, with their head towards the sun, standing like a stiff pole with no joints, right? That means they are so egoistic, they have so much of attitude that they do not bend, right? As if they are a walking stick, okay, or a wand which will not bend. But Ranga did not do the namaskar like this. He bowed down to touch his feet. So he was very much impressed by the namaskar that Ranga did. So he was very happy. He blessed him. May you get married soon. Okay. So they had a talk, and then the author left. The next afternoon, Ranga came to his house with some oranges in his hand. Now, when the author saw Ranga, he thought that this would be a very suitable boy to get married, who could settle down in his life and serve the society. So he thought of getting Ranga married off, right? And then he starts talking. What is your plan to get married? Ranga said, I am not going to get married now. Now he was shocked. This boy whom I am thinking to get him married, he doesn't want to marry now. He said, why? Why not? He said, I want to find the right girl. He says, I know an officer who is 30 years old and his wife is 25 years old. So they know each other. Both of them are mature enough to understand each other. So if they are getting married, they would be living their life very happily, right? And then he says that I had seen the play Shakuntala. If Shakuntala would have been of 10 or 11 or 15 years old, she would not have acted so mature. So what could have Kalidas done at that time? Now the children, now the babies are getting married. Now the girls at a very young age are getting married. So he doesn't want a girl who has milk spots, stains on her face, right? Or who doesn't know how to shy, right? Who doesn't know how to talk to her husband. He says that if I scold her, or if I talk to her in a loving tone, she may understand that I am angry, because she doesn't have that much of maturity. So he says that I don't want to get married unless I meet a girl whom I think is fit for me. Now the author is so disappointed, whom he had thought to be a good husband had decided to remain a bachelor. So he thought that I should make some plan to get him married. So he thinks of Rama Rao's niece. That she was a wonderful girl, a beautiful girl who had lived in Bangalore. So she knew how to play the harmonium and veena, and she had lost her parents. So she lived with her uncle Rama Rao, and the author thought that she was the best match for Ranga. Okay, now he went to Rama Rao's house and asked Rama Rao's wife to send the niece, her name was Ratna, to send Ratna home to get some buttermilk. He said that I have some buttermilk, send Ratna to get it. Now next day when Ratna came to the author's house, she was wearing a beautiful sari because it was Friday, and Friday was considered to be the auspicious day for the girls to pray to the goddess. So she was dressed in that way, and she was going to the temple. She visited the author's house. When she went there, the author asked her to come in and sing a song for her. So she started singing a song. In the meantime, he sent a boy to call Ranga. Now Ranga had come. He was standing at the door while Ratna was singing the song. Okay, she was singing a devotional song. Now Ranga, who was at the door, he was mesmerized by the voice of Ratna, and he was curious to know who was singing. Now both the things cannot be done. Either you listen or you see, because he was on the threshold of the house. If he peeped into the house, the sunlight would be the sunlight would be blocked, and the song would stop. But he could not control his curiosity, and he peeped inside to see who was singing. As soon as Ratna saw someone peeping when the sunlight was blocked, she stopped singing. She just got up. Okay, now here he compares the facial gesture of Ranga with a person who wants to eat the best quality mango. He has bought that mango, right? And he is severing the peel. Okay, and before biting the juicy mango, the mango slips from his hand, right? What happens? We become disappointed. The same feeling who could not eat the best quality mango, that feeling, that expression could be seen on Ranga's face, right? But he could not say anything. He just asked the author, "You sent for me?" Now Ratna was standing there, her head lowered. Ranga was looking at Ratna, right? And when he saw that the author was looking at Ranga and Ranga was looking at Ratna, Ranga was a bit embarrassed. Okay, now he said, "It is I who stopped the singing, isn't that? My coming stopped the singing. I must go, I must leave." but he was not getting up from his chair. Okay, he said that I must leave, but not getting up from chair. So here the author says, words, mere words. How can the actions match the words in this Kali Yuga? Right? He is pointing out the inability of Ranga to move out from there. Although he is saying, but he cannot move out because he liked Ratna. Okay? Now, Ratna was a shy girl, so she went inside. So Ranga asked the author, who is she? Right? Who is this girl? Now, who is this girl? Now the author is thinking there is a story about a lion and a goat. Right? The goat hides inside the temple and the lion is outside. He doesn't want to enter the temple to kill the goat, so he wants the goat to come out. So he says, who is there inside? The goat says, who is here? You tell, who are you? I am the poor animal, I am a poor animal who has already eaten 9 lions. I have vowed to eat one more. The goat pretends to be a devil who wants to eat one more lion. And tell me, are you a male or a female? The lion was so much afraid that he runs away from there. This is the story of the brave goat. Here the author compares Ranga with that goat. Right? Who's there? Okay, he wants to know. He said, oh, who's there? What does it matter? Right? Who she is? I am married. You are not going to get married. Right? You are not the marrying kind. So, it doesn't matter who this girl is. So, hopefully, Ranga said, oh, she is not married. The author says, oh, she was married a year ago. He tells a lie. Right? He tells a lie. Now, Ranga's face, it looked like a roasted brinjal. Okay? He was so disappointed. So, he goes home. This was all the planning of the author. Next day, he went to Shastri, the Shastri at the temple, who foretells the future. Okay, he was the Shastri. He goes to Shastri and he tells, keep everything okay to read the stars. And he tutored him. He told him everything what he had to say. So the plan was fixed between the author and Shastri. He goes to Ranga's house. Now Ranga's condition was the same as the previous day. Right? His face as if it was a roasted brinjal. He says, what happened? Are you having a headache? He says, no, I don't have a headache. So he says, I looked like this when people were deciding upon the girl whom I should marry. But this is not the case with you, isn't it? So he says, okay, let us go to the Shastri to see whether your Shani and Mangal are all fine or not. So they both went to Shastri. Right? Now, Shastri, he was tutored earlier. He said, oh, Shyama. Shyama is the author. Okay, his name is Shyama. He says, Shyama, what a surprise. I haven't seen you for a long time. Now the author was a bit confused, right? He was himself not prepared to give this type of answer. He said, oh, only this morning. The Shastri, he got hold of the problem. Right? He said, oh, only morning, today morning you got up, finished your work and you are free to visit me now. He covered what was going to be disclosed. The secret was going to be disclosed. So he covered it up. Shastri covered it up. Right? He asks Shastri to tell something about Ranga. He introduced Ranga and said, come on, tell me what is worrying him. Right? Let us put your astrology to test. Now he took out the sheet of paper and all those things, the Kauri and all those things, so that he could tell the future. And then he says, our ancient science, it's very beautiful, but I will not tell you the whole story about it because I don't have so much of time. You may get bored. Sometimes other I will tell you about my science of astrology. And then he counted on his fingers and he says, what's your star? He said, oh, never mind, don't forget about your star. And then he pretended as if he was thinking something, and then he said, it's about a girl, right? He had been tutored by the author. The author was trying to control his laughter. Now he says, what is the girl? Who is the girl? He says, maybe her name is something that is found in the ocean. He says, may Kamala, or maybe Kamala. Can it be Pachi the moss? Yes, it can be. Or can it be Ratna? He says, it can be Ratna. Right? Now, all these names that are suggested of the things that are found in the ocean. Ratna is the name of the girl with whom Ranga wants to marry. Right? And the author took the name of Ranga purposefully. Right? Then he says, Ratna, the girl who is in Rama Rao's house, her niece, is there any chance of negotiation between the two getting married? Shastri said, definitely, right? After thinking for some time. He pretended as if he was thinking, and then he said, definitely both of them, if there is a marriage proposal, it is definitely going to be finalized. Now, Ranga was surprised because he had never thought that this was going to be the result of visiting Shastri. Both of them left the place, and then he went to Rama Rao. They both of them, the author and Ranga, they went to Rama Rao's house. But inside the house, only the author went. He asked Ranga to stop there, outside the house. And he said, you wait here for some time, I'll just go and come back. He went inside Rama Rao's house and returned in few minutes, and he said, oh, surprisingly, that girl isn't married. Right? Okay, that girl isn't married. He had lied. He knew that he had lied, but he had to convince Ranga that I have confirmed it from Rama Rao himself that this girl is not married. He said that now whatever the Shastri has said, it can be true. Your matrimony can be finalized. Now he was very happy. Now in the evening, the author went to Shastri and said, oh, you performed very well. You said exactly what I said. Now Shastri was angry. He said, how can you challenge my science? Even if you would not have told me, I would have calculated and I would have told that this matrimony is going to be finalized. Right? So he said, okay, let it be. So he comes to the present scenario. This was what happened 10 years ago. Now he comes to the present day. Okay, present day when the author had been invited by Ranga. Right? Ranga had come to invite. He said, you have to come to our house for dinner. Okay, so the author was invited to Ranga's house for dinner. The author asked what the occasion was, and he said it is Shyama's birthday. He is 3 years old. Shyama was his son, and Shyama was the author's name also. So paying respect to the author who had arranged his marriage with Ratna, he had named his eldest son as Shyama. Right? Now the author was a bit angry. He says, he is such a fine, fair boy, and I am so black, so I am Shyama, it is okay, but why did you name him Shyama? Okay, so to pay respect to him, he had named his son as Shyama. So in the evening, he had gone to Ranga's house, and he saw that his wife Ratna was pregnant again, and his sister had come to help him, right? And she was 8 months pregnant, and they were expecting their second child. So the celebration was the third birthday of Ranga's eldest son, Shyama, and the author Shyama gave him a tiny gold ring on his birthday. Right? So here the author ends by asking the leave of the reader. Right? He is there always to serve, and in the end he asked, aren't you bored? Okay, I hope you are not bored. The whole story in a narrative form is as if he is conversing with the readers. This aspect of story writing makes it more interesting. Right? So the story of Ranga's marriage is this. This story tells you about traditional and modern view. Right? Traditionality versus modernity. Ranga, who was of modern thinking, he didn't want to marry unless he found the right girl. Right? This was his modernity. And traditionality, when the author wanted both of them to get married, Ranga and Ratna, because he thought that they were the best couple. Right? According to him, Ratna was best suited for Ranga. One more thing that has been taken up in this story is child marriage. You see, when he mentions Abhigyan Shakuntalam, he says Shakuntala was not a girl of 10 or 12 years old. Right? She was a mature girl. And that is why she could understand the separation from Dushyant. So, even in the even in the past, people were married at a particular age when the girl was thought to be mature enough. But in the British rule, or we can say in the Mughal period also, the girls were married off very early. The child marriage was very popular. The girls were married off at a very young age. Here also you see that Ratna is only 11 years old. And Ranga thinks that she is mature enough, she can handle the situations, right? And he falls in love with Ratna. And one more point, the third point that comes here in the lesson is taking their own decisions. Ranga was not swayed by anyone else. He had taken his own decisions. He wanted to get married to Ratna, although the author had arranged the meeting, author had arranged the matrimony, but still he found Ratna the best suited bride for him. So he decided what he wanted to do, and that is why he took his own decisions. Right? So he got married to Ratna and they lived happily. Right? So there are 3 things that you learn from this chapter. Thank you.